Tiana, and I have my phone interview for the Disney College program today. I applied on January 26th, and I was asked to do my web interview right away. I was so lucky because I know a lot of people get stuck in the application received phase of the process, and that could be so stressful. So I was very blessed and very grateful to get my web interview right away. So I got my web interview, and it took me about 25 to 30 minutes to do it, but I was going, very slow, taking my time, reading and rereading the questions just to make sure I wouldn't get tripped up, wouldn't mistake the wording or anything. So as soon as I was done with my web interview, I passed, and I was asked to schedule a phone interview right afterwards. This was on January 26th, and today is February 4th, so I took the soonest slot I could, which was today, February 4th at 12:15. It is currently about 11:45. I'm waiting in my Mickey ears and my Dumbo sweater. I actually have a list of questions, anything that I've been reviewing that I think they may ask, written down just to have a little extra help if I need it. I have my headphones so I can just hear them very clearly. So I'm just going to record the process, let you know how it goes, and hopefully I get accepted. Hello, this is Tiana. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? Wonderful time. I've actually only ever had one roommate, and it was one of my fellow coworkers. So we started out going in with a really great relationship. The only problem that we ever really ran into was I worked the morning shift and she worked the night shift. So me coming home from work and her getting ready for work was on the same time schedule. So we had to really, work out a schedule, figure out when I could take a shower, when she could take a shower, when she could have people over and when I could have people over. So I don't have, much experience with roommates, but the problems that we did have, we always were able to talk them out, create a schedule. It was always really friendly, and I never had huge issues being able to talk about my feelings and the things that I had, concerns about living with her. Well, Disney is something that is so important to me. I know you probably hear this all the time, but it's really just, a huge part of my life. I also really would love to work for a company like Disney, what it stands for. I love the family friendly motto, making everyone feel like you could do whatever you want, be whatever you want. It's just something really important. And I know that people who do the internship love it, and many go on to work for a company. And I just want to be a part of a company that I can really grow with and learn from and just be really happy working there. Yeah, in the future, once I graduate, I do really want to teach elementary. So right now I'm a pre-K teacher, and I really, really love working with kids. So that's something that I'm always wanted to do ever since I was little. But yeah, I'm thinking second or third grade would be my ideal age. They're just so fun and creative at that age. It's just something I really love to be around. I like being able to teach kids new things. I mean, there's something that's just so heartwarming about, watching a kid write their name for the first time. And I love those bonds that you create with kids when they're so young. I mean, every day when I walk into class, it doesn't matter if there's one kid or 10 kids there, all of them run up to me and hug me every day. And I just really love that feeling that I'm creating an impact on these kids' lives, that maybe one day, they'll grow up to remember, and they'll think that they want to be a teacher too, or they want to do, the same thing for kids when they're old enough to decide what they want to do with their life. Hmm. Yeah, I have actually in the past, I went to Aveda Institute for 2 years after I graduated from high school. That's why my college year started a little later in my life, because last minute I decided I wanted to be a hairstylist. So I did go to Aveda Institute, and I graduated with my cosmetology degree. And from there I went on and I worked at Jack and Jill Salon, which was a children's salon. And I moved shortly after I got the job in at that salon. I moved from Colorado to Nebraska. So once I moved from there, I kind of stopped doing my cosmetology stuff because the licensing was different in Colorado than it is in Nebraska. So other than Verizon and Forever 21, Aveda and Jack and Jill are the only other places I've gone to school or worked. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I adore it there. I feel like anytime I wash my hair, I just get so many memories of going to school there. The smell of Aveda is the best thing I've ever smelled in my life. Oh, that's awesome. I know. Yeah, my hair never feels the same unless I'm using Aveda. And I really loved my experience there because I was there, I would say almost 4 years ago, and I still have friends that I text every single day that were in my Aveda class. So it was really a wonderful opportunity for me when I was so young. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think that I actually have a really great sense of people. I've worked in retail, hair salon, and with kids. It's three very different job types, but it's also three job types that are very huge into customer service, making sure people are happy, really trying to entertain your audience for long periods of time. From sitting with, 20 kids, trying to keep their attention is just as hard as trying to carry a conversation while you're doing someone's hair for 2 hours. So I think I have great experience with talking, keeping a conversation going. Plus, I've been told that I talk a lot, so I think that that is, kind of something that's helped me out in my, my career path. So. No, so in my current job, I clean up a lot of messes working with young kids, especially kids who are still being potty trained, and with flu season going around, I have cleaned up quite a few messes. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but when it needs to be done, it needs to be done. So it's not anything that I'm too worried about. Hmm. I've never worked in a professional food environment, but I do cook dinner every day for me, and I don't think that would be an issue. I know that there's going to be training and stuff that goes into it, so I believe that I'm a quick learner, and I do like to cook, so it's something that I'd be open to learning and learning the new process of doing it. So. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, well, actually, I have a great example. So we do something yearly at our school called PDD, which is a training that all the schools in our immediate area go to. So we have about 6 or 7 schools that come to one area, and we do yearly training for the school. And last year, I actually got a promotion from the lead teacher to a team lead. So I am kind of in charge of that kind of stuff at our school. So this year at our PDD meeting, I was kind of in charge of getting this, getting our center hyped up, talking to them about what we were going to be doing during the day. And I have, that experience was really great. I mean, I was more comfortable with that crowd, but it's not something that I'm opposed to doing. So I think that because I'm so loud, I'm so bubbly, I can keep people's attention for a long periods of time. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I think I would be comfortable with that, especially since, going to the parks myself so much growing up, I know how exciting that trip from, the parking garage to the front gates of the park can be. And I know that I want people to get there safely. I want those people to have a good time on their way there. So, I would just try to make everyone as happy as possible, make sure that they're following the rules without being, too aggressive or too mean about it, because I know that they're going to have, the best day ever. So I would want them to feel that on their way to the parks. Mhm. That was always my biggest draw to the parks is I loved the detail in everything. I love the detail in every single costume, from the voices to the hair to the signature. And I've always been amazed, and it's something I've always wanted to see how it works. So that's something that I would just be really interested in learning about. I want to see, what goes into the people who wear the costumes, how it looks when it's taken apart. I'm just really interested in, learning what really goes into it, what goes into creating the magic that we see when we're there. Yeah, well, when I was in high school, I actually did do a lot of theater. So I never made the costumes, but we did have to get dressed quickly, changed quickly, and there was a few, rips and tears here. So I have had to fix a few buttons and zippers here and there. And not only that, when we did Grease when I was in high school, there was a lot of quick changes when we had to take our jackets off. And so I have a little bit of experience with helping other people get dressed and helping myself get dressed in a quick manner. So I've never made a full costume before, but I have, some high school theater experience with the quick changes and, stuff like that. So, mhm. I would probably just try to make it as fun for the guest as I could, especially if it was a child. Try to make it, something that they will remember what they have to do. Tell them that they just need a little bit of pixie dust to get a little bit taller, or, something that won't hurt their feelings, or maybe even suggest a ride that they were tall enough to ride so they knew that they could go from here to somewhere else without being too upset. I would just try to really make it a fun situation, even though it's not such a fun thing for the kid to be going through. Mhm. Okay, yeah. Well, actually, when I worked at Forever 21 as the visual merchandiser, I did have to carry a lot of clothes in and out of the stock room. So, and if it was too much, we would use dollies or we would use racks, but a lot of the time I would have to carry, huge mannequins or two or three big boxes filled with clothes out at a time. So, after a while, of course, you get tired, but you know that you have a deadline, you have certain things to do. So, I would just, practice, be safe about it, make sure that you're not lifting with your back, all the things that you're supposed to do to make sure that you don't get hurt while you're lifting. But it is something that I have done a lot, especially in retail merchandising. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I actually do have a question. I've been doing a little bit of research and I saw somewhere online, or maybe it was on the Disney College Program website, that you guys have a lot of volunteer opportunities for the Disney College Program, cast members. Is that true? Is that something that is still offered now? Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Nope, I think that's all that I have. You too, Christine. Thank you. Bye. That was really nerve wracking. I don't really know how it went, but I guess we'll just wait and see.